Main event time.
Absolutely nothing average about Steve Jones. You just have to look at him and know that.
Both these young men, specimens.
Yeah, one of the great things, I was talking to some of Steve Jones' coaches, and they're like, one of his things other than his work ethic in the gym is when it's time to fight, he literally just says, tell me who I'm fighting. Not yes or no, just set it up.
That's awesome. Like to see that from a young guy. Nice feints early on, both guys. Good posture, eyes open, looking to strike.
Both guys staying very well measured here in the opening moments. Nice high kick by Chris Anthony.
No, both these guys can start fast, but it looks like the respect between the two of them, they're kind of measuring their pace a little bit, trying to find each other's rhythm. Ooh-wee. Chris Anthony getting going.
Chris Anthony really mixing it up here.
I love that term you use when two guys really feeling each other out. It's respect for each other, because that's exactly what it is. Like, they know the damage each other can do.
When you know the guy across from you can start you with one punch, you have to be somewhat careful, but you can't be too careful because that'll get you starched too. Both guys volleying for position, firing good knees down the center line. Good clinch work from the two of these gentlemen. Nice hand fighting there by Steve Jones, makes his way off the cage. Educated stuff.
Firing good, deliberate shots.
Both guys getting to work now, finding their rhythm.
Chris Anthony uses some really good head movement as he's ducking under some of those punches, mixing in the takedown attempts. He's keeping Steve Jones on his toes here.
Looks to me that Steve Jones a little more measured, whereas Chris Anthony is really relying on getting his momentum moving forward. Nice straight shot by Steve Jones. Sharp work by both of these guys.
Yeah, they're starting to open it up here.
Absolutely. I love that they both have good broken timing on their shots instead of just those static 1, 2, 3s. Like it's 1, 2, 3, and I think it makes a difference.
They're doing a good job of mixing it up well, and you'll see that at the higher levels of fighting, guys break their tempo just to find different timing and find different shots. Big overhand right by Steve Jones. Nice four-piece combination there.
Steve Jones definitely firing more shots.
My favorite thing about these local fights is hearing all the commentary from the background, from the audience. It's
hilarious.
It's gold.
Nice level change by Steve Jones. He fit that takedown in. Good timing. Scores an easy takedown, ends up in Chris Anthony's guard. Let's see what.
And if you look, Chris Anthony's just so well measured. He's been in this spot so many times. He's not worried, not phased, not breathing heavy.
Pretty active off his back for a bigger guy too. Steve Jones trying to trap Chris Anthony's arm, lets him up.
Steve Jones trying to make it a fight for the fans.
We appreciate it.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
I know Chris Anthony's a pretty big guy for this weight class. I gotta say though, Steve Jones matches up pretty well his own self. I think Steve Jones is a good sized welterweight fighter.
Absolutely.
Steve Jones is really finding his rhythm. Nice head movement
nice
there.
Good
timing.
Nice takedown there. Good duck under by Steve Jones, finishing the double leg. But
that was impressive awareness.
High level stuff. He used his head movement to create his takedown entry, scored, and now he's in a dominant position. Gotta be happy with the work from Steve Jones thus far.
Absolutely. It looked like Chris got a little overzealous there.
Well, he just made that look effortless.
Moved his head offline, found the hips, scored a takedown. Very nice stuff. I was thinking that that Steve Jones was starting to get his rhythm. You see him start mixing things up with his
Chris Anthony
striking
right back up.
It's just nice feints, sharp jab. Everything works off that sharp jab. Ooh-wee. Nice left hook by Steve Jones. You heard him, hit him behind the ear right there.
Yeah, clipped him a little bit there. Chris Anthony's going to get on his bike here.
Savvy stuff from the old vet, you know. He gets hurt, he doesn't bite down and swing away. He finds his feet and tries to get his wherewithal back.
Absolutely, just so well composed.
And Steve Jones didn't get all excited and run in and get clipped. He walked him down and fired some more straight punches on him.
Both these guys are high level. Man, I really like the work from Steve Jones. Really measured, really smart.
About 10 seconds in the round.
10 seconds left. Chris Anthony's got to be careful with a puncher like Steve Jones. You throw a kick without setting it up, you eat a big right hand. Good scrap between these two guys.
Good exchanges here in the closing seconds of this round. Great first round.
It's going to be really interesting to see what Chris Anthony's corner has to say. I think Steve Jones really kind of took it away that round.
I think the technical fight is more Steve Jones's speed. Chris Anthony has to make this a dirty fight, keep pushing into him, keep moving forward, or else Steve Jones is going to get his rhythm, he's going to find his shots, he's going to pick them apart.
I just got to be honest, guys. I don't even know why these two dudes want to be MMA fighters, because they could both be male models and have a much easier life than this.
Agreed, both handsome
I don't know
gentlemen.
why you're still fighting, Matt. You need to be modeling clothes at Calvin Klein.
Ain't no modeling jobs for guys that are 5'5", unfortunately.
That's where you're wrong.
Hey.
Put you in a set of pumps and you'll be good to go.
Find the right market, you never know.
That's it.
Hey, Hollywood's full of guys 5'4" to 5'9", man. You fit right in, you tower over all of them.
Tom Cruise can meet me in the parking lot. We'll sort it out.
All right, seconds out, locking the gate.
Round two starting. These guys are true professionals. They're ready to go.
Impressive high kick.
I think Steve gained a lot of confidence in his stand-up this last round. I think you're going to see him open it up even more.
Steve started finding his rhythm towards the end of the fight, end of the round, whereas Chris Anthony started a little quicker. Chris Anthony coming out, switching it up a little bit, attacking that lead leg. Inside low kicks, really sharp.
Nice body kick by Steve Jones. Going right to the...
Much more aggressive, doesn't want to clinch up.
It's high IQ stuff. I mean, Chris Anthony came out, switched it up a little bit. Steve Jones obviously heavy on that front leg because he's chunking these great boxing combinations. And it's actually something that's working well for Chris Anthony. Let's see if he can work off of it a little bit. Maybe start feinting that inside leg kick.
Yeah, it looked like he was really having success with those leg kicks there in the opening seconds.
He's got a real nice stroke with it, real smooth inside low kick. Chris Jones kind of closing the different distance here, making it a little more grimy of a fight, something I thought would suit Chris Anthony a little better, but here Chris Jones is scoring a nice takedown.
Good double leg by Steve Jones there.
Yeah, a lot of people may not saw it, but he used the top of his head and underneath Chris's chin really aggressively, and that caused him to drop down low for that double leg.
Head position is so important in these wrestling exchanges. Chris Anthony doing a good job of scrambling, but Steve Jones
looking to take the back here. Got one hook in.
High level work. Steve Jones answering every question with the right answer.
And both of these guys still just so well composed. No one's panicking.
Chris Anthony doing a good job. You see how he's trying to keep Steve Jones' hands separated. That will allow him to stand up. Let's see if we see another Kimura trap attempt. Steve Jones doing a good job here. Wrestling well, keeping Chris Anthony's pressure over the top of his hands. Keeping Chris Anthony grounded.
Doing a great job of making Chris carry his weight here.
It's just small positional stuff that really pays dividends here.
Man, there's a relentless grind right here, man. Chris is fighting off well, but that's got to be taking a lot of energy out of him.
Absolutely.
Nothing more grueling than the up and down, as we all know. Steve Jones doing a great job of making Chris Anthony work through every moment of this fight.
And you guys are absolutely right. It's so physically taxing. I challenge anyone at home that thinks it's easy to just stand up, as they say. Just grab a 20-pound medicine ball and sit on your butt with it in your lap and continuously stand up. And if you're not tired, about to pass out within a minute, then I salute you because you're physically fit.
Yeah, now multiply that 20-pound weight times 10 and imagine the guy's trying to punch your face off. It's a way different thing.
Absolutely, Matt.
Steve Jones doing a good job. You see how he's hooking that far side leg? This is keeping Chris Anthony grounded, making Chris Anthony continue to have to work really, really hard.
Chris is sticking with that single leg hook there.
He almost made it work for himself.
I mean, I think it's a really good tactic here. A guy with Chris Anthony is going to be really, really difficult to finish. But if he can grind on him for the rest of this round and come out in the third, he has an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Great work from Steve Jones. He's fighting a near perfect fight. And Chris Anthony, game as always, looking for an arm bar.
Looking for that finish.
Very active with his guard here.
Look, he knows he's losing the fight. He knows he has to be aggressive here.
But he's not panicking. He's not.
Honestly, guys, this is the type of fight that really tests a young fighter. You know, having to get in there and square off against a vet. And like I said, Chris Anthony is from the generation previous to Steve Jones. He's been competing at this level for a long time, doing very well. And it's awesome to see Steve Jones rise from the amateur ranks to being an early, to being a young pro, and now here he is facing a vet like Chris Anthony, checking all the boxes, doing an excellent job.
Absolutely, Matt. You know, Chris Anthony was fighting professionally before Steve Jones probably had his first amateur fight. And to see Steve Jones stepping up
he's
here.
Pulling something out. There's that Kimura trap again.
And there's that veteran craftiness, but Steve Jones is answering right back. He's not letting Chris Anthony keep control.
Ow.
Way to finish the round.
Way to finish the round.
You got to know, like we said, Chris Anthony is a vet, so he is never out of this thing. He'll find his moments to win.
This is shaping up to be the main event I expected. Steve definitely came out and controlled the stand-up much better than I expected he would have. On the ground, I mean, he's relentless pressure, making Chris fight the whole time.
He was definitely the one working with the momentum there, except for at the end of the fight, Chris Anthony was able to flip the script a little bit, end on top, but you got to think that Steve Jones did more than enough to win that round.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think the real question comes down to which one's going to get the oxygen back in his blood, come out in the third round, and pick up the pace.
Right, is the crafty vet gonna pull a good veteran technique here and steal the win, or is Steve gonna keep his head on his shoulders and continue his path to victory here?
This right now is when being a vet pays off. These type of moments where a guy maybe gassed himself a little bit, maybe he's doubting himself just a little. Chris Anthony needs to go out there with some urgency, try and get this done. Had a little momentum there towards the end of the second round. Let's see if he can keep it.
Yeah, will Steve play the smart fight and fight for the win, or is he going to fight for the finish? And that changes a lot too.
Looks like Steve Jones ain't trying to leave here.
Nope.
He's not going to try to leave it in the hands of the judges.
No, he's standing in the pocket and he's going for it.
Yeah, both these guys want to finish.
Nice movement by Chris Anthony. High-level stuff.
Both these guys still using good head movement here in the
subtle feint
by
Steve Jones. He kind of feinted a level change, came over the top with a nice sharp right hand.
And he's looking to work the body, going low, going high.
And they're still both punching with such good power. Like, none of these are just kind of like lazy jabs. And I mean, they're really throwing these punches still.
That was a heater from Chris Anthony.
Another good takedown by Steve.
Steve's got great timing, and that's just one of those things that you have to get on the mat. You have to have, hard punches flying at you to really cultivate that timing and start to understand how to change levels like that and score so effortlessly. You see the pace is kind of slowed a little bit. Chris Anthony was a good bit more active off his back a little bit earlier. Both these guys somewhat fatigued, and rightfully so.
He's still trying to attack an arm with that Kimura grip if he could just get his... Steve is doing really good with his head pressure.
That's been the technique of the night, huh, that Kimura trap.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody has done that and not had some success with it.
Steve Jones doing a good job here, keeping the pressure. Trying to smash pass, maybe move to mount, maybe take the back here.
He's going to try to, set a hook here and take the back.
This is one of those positions where in the amateur ranks, I have to tell anybody and everybody, like, never give your back. And something changes when you turn pro and you have more experience that sometimes giving your back is the easiest way to stand up.
And certainly when you're in a really bad position, you'd rather give up your back than get TKO'd from mount or something like that. But yeah, it's something as I've gotten older and moved through this sport a little bit, you know, sometimes you got to give up the goods to get to where you're trying to go.
Right.
But you see he does it smart. Like you said earlier, he keeps his hands separated. He really attacks that one arm, 2-on-1, where he's not really in any danger.
Yeah, and as long as he keeps his hands separated, he keeps himself from getting grounded and controlled. But he has to start building like this. And right there, he kind of lost focus for a second, and Jones got his hands together. Now here they are, scrambling.
Jones.
But there's a prime example of
got
giving
out
his
of
back
position
away, and now
gave
he's back on his
Anthony a
feet in
chance.
the fight.
Right, gave Anthony a chance to stand up, and Chris took it.
Both of these guys displaying indomitable spirit. I mean, no quitting either one of them.
Right.
Chris Jones. Steve Jones turning that chin.
Yeah.
Man, I'm loving
Kind of
this.
starting to slug it out here in the closing minutes of this fight, which
And you can hear the crowd.
everyone
getting into
that buys a ticket, that's what they want to see, you know. And another single leg. Nice.
So far, it's just been Steve Jones having the more complete game, utilizing the wrestling as well. Both of these guys can grapple and both of them can strike, but it looks to me that Steve Jones is the better wrestler.
Right. And Matt, when you talked earlier about timing, you know, Steve's had impeccable timing this whole fight. Obviously, it's something you work on, but is that also a talent, a natural talent?
It can be. You know, you see guys who have naturally good timing and good rhythm, but also it's something that can be worked towards with understanding. You can work towards utilizing these techniques. I know that if I can get a guy firing punches at me aggressively, he's heavy on his legs, I can change levels and perhaps score an easy takedown. Nice scramble, nice scrap from these two. But again, Steve Jones
Just
doing
relentless.
enough to end up on top.
I can't say enough about Chris, though. I mean, look, there's 14 and a half minutes fighting. Clearly he's losing this fight. And look, he's still attacking the Femoras. He's still throwing
Still
elbows.
on the gas, yeah.
I mean, he is. I guarantee if you told him, like, hey, we're just going to keep fighting until one of you lose, he'd be like, okay.
He'd be game.
And this time tomorrow, he'd still be at it. What a great main event.
Excellent main event. Worth the price of admission.
Hey, congratulations to Steve Jones. I think he passed the test tonight. And again, I think this guy is ready for some higher level competition.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the after party
I'm
goes
excited.
down at Bojack's Craft
Chris Anthony
House.
clearly disappointed in his performance, but it's one of those from outside looking in. It's hard to tell him that, like, dude, you did an amazing job, because I guarantee he's one of these guys that, it's never good enough.
Hard to be satisfied in this game, and it's the guys who are never satisfied who continue to push towards the ultimate goal,
Those are the ones that make it to the top. I mean, obviously, in this sport, there's got to be a winner and a loser, but, I just can't respect both of these guys enough. It's
neither one of these guys has anything to hold their or hang their head about. Chris Anthony, a frickin' stud. Steve Jones, a stud. Steve Jones, a guy who's a future UFC fighter, no doubt about it.
Well, Matt, from firsthand experience. I know from firsthand watching it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
gonna
after
happen.
3 rounds of one hell of a fight, we are returning to the judges' scorecard. Ladies and gentlemen, all 3 judges have seen and scored this fight the same way, therefore declaring your winner by unanimous decision. And still, AKA welterweight champion, the average Steve Jones. ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Bishop Promotions, my name is Dynamite, saying thank you all so much for coming out. God bless you and good night. The after party starts now at Bojack's Craft House.
Well, I don't know about you, Cap, but
Why are you a brown belt? I know. One day we'll get old better.